Have you ever wondered why some of the smartest people suddenly disappear from everyone's life? One day, they're replying to every message, showing up at every gathering, and always available. Then they quietly vanish. No arguments, no dramatic goodbye, just silence. Most people assume they've become arrogant, lonely, or antisocial. But what if the truth is completely different? Psychologists have found that, as self awareness grows, relationships often begin to change. The more clearly people understand themselves, the more clearly they begin to see everyone else. And for many highly intelligent people, that change becomes impossible to ignore. By the end of this video, you'll discover the hidden psychological reasons intelligent people quietly walk away from others, and why the final reason might completely change the way you see your own relationships. It rarely begins with one big betrayal. Instead, it starts with small moments that most people overlook: a smile that doesn't reach someone's eyes, a promise that's never kept, a friend who only calls when they need something, or someone who praises you in public while quietly competing with you in private. Most people dismiss these moments, but intelligent people naturally connect them into larger patterns. Psychologists call this pattern recognition, the brain's ability to detect repeated behaviors and predict future outcomes. One incident means very little, but five incidents begin to tell a story. Eventually, they stop judging people by what they say and start judging them by what they consistently do. Once you see someone's true pattern, it's almost impossible to unsee it. They don't disappear because they hate people. They disappear because they stop ignoring the truth. They also begin craving meaning instead of noise. Think about the last conversation that truly stayed with you. Not gossip or complaining, but one that challenged your thinking, made you question something, or helped you understand yourself better. Those conversations are surprisingly rare. Most discussions repeat the same complaints, the same distractions, and the same surface level topics. You can spend hours talking and still walk away feeling empty. Research suggests that people who enjoy deeper thinking are naturally drawn to conversations with greater emotional and intellectual depth, not because they want to sound smarter, but because they want to feel genuinely connected. When those conversations become harder to find, silence often feels more peaceful than constant noise. They don't withdraw from people first. They withdraw from conversations that no longer nourish them. Over time, many intelligent people realize they've become everyone's listener, helper, and problem solver. They're the ones everyone calls during difficult times, and at first it feels rewarding to be needed. But eventually, they notice something uncomfortable. Whenever they're struggling, very few people ask if they're okay. That's when one quiet question changes everything. Who's protecting my peace? Psychologists have consistently found that healthy emotional boundaries are essential for long-term mental well-being. Without boundaries, kindness slowly turns into burnout. So they begin saying no to unnecessary drama, one-sided friendships, and emotional burdens that were never theirs to carry. From the outside, this can seem cold, but real maturity isn't saying yes to everyone. It's knowing when to say no. Protecting your peace isn't selfish, it's necessary. Growth changes more than just the person who's growing. It also changes the people around them. Imagine sharing exciting news, expecting happiness, but instead being met with forced smiles, awkward silence, or a conversation that suddenly shifts away. Nothing obvious is said, yet something feels different. Psychologists explain this through social comparison theory. Sometimes another person's progress reminds people of the dreams they've postponed or the risks they never took. Your growth unintentionally becomes a mirror. Some people feel inspired when they look into that mirror, while others feel threatened by it. That's when intelligent people stop shrinking themselves, just to make everyone else comfortable. It's not that success changed them, it simply revealed who genuinely supported them all along. And once that truth becomes clear, it's impossible to forget. Eventually, they discover something many people spend years trying to learn. Approval is temporary, but self-respect lasts much longer. Psychologists describe this as the shift from external validation to internal validation. Instead of constantly asking, "Do people like me?" they begin asking, "Do I like the person I'm becoming?" That single question changes everything. They explain themselves less, argue less, and stop trying to prove themselves to everyone. Not because they have nothing to say, but because they no longer feel the need to convince anyone. At the same time, they realize that being alone isn't the same as being lonely. Research has shown that healthy solitude can improve creativity, emotional regulation, and self-awareness. So while everyone else thinks they've disappeared, they're reading, learning, reflecting, and growing. They're not escaping the world, they're rebuilding themselves. And that's perhaps the biggest misunderstanding of all. So why do intelligent people suddenly disappear from everyone's life? Not because they think they're better than everyone else, not because they hate people, and certainly not because they want to be alone forever. They disappear because they begin seeing clearly. They recognize unhealthy patterns, crave genuine connection instead of empty conversation, protect their peace, stop shrinking themselves for others, and stop chasing approval. They choose a life that reflects who they truly are. Maybe disappearing isn't about running away from people. Maybe it's about finally returning to yourself. So here's one final question. If you quietly disappeared from everyone's life tomorrow, would you be running away from the world? Or would you finally be walking toward the person you were always meant to become? If this video gave you a new perspective, let me know your thoughts in the comments. And if you enjoy psychology that reveals the hidden patterns behind human behavior, subscribe for more. Sometimes the smallest shift in perspective changes everything.